All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. And welcome to our panel session for today, where my guests will be giving you the insights and advice on what support is available for startups. Very, very important and relevant question and topic. So I'm joined today by my brilliant speakers, Geoff Evans from event charity partner Shaw Trust, and Roie Samuel from Connected. Now, Geoff, would you like to introduce yourself and tell our audience about Shaw Trust and your role there?
Of course, Sabrina, thank you. And thanks for inviting me and being able to speak on this platform. So as I said, my name is Geoff Evans. I'm the contract manager for the new Enterprise Allowance, NEA. I look after the North London job centres and West London job centres, which is part of the, so basically I work for Shaw Trust. We work on government contracts, which we help anybody on job seekers through the job centre, who are unemployed, who wish to start their own business. So we take them through the stages of working on their business plans, cash flow forecasts, and their personal survival budgets. So looking at the financials, making sure the business is viable, and we do that through a period of 6 months. So once the customer starts a program, they've got up to 6 months in order to start their business. So with the new Enterprise Allowance, there is a grant at the end of it. So once they're successful in getting their business plan together, working alongside my team of startup brokers and sustainment brokers, they will then be entitled to a £65 a week top up on whatever they're earning. So they could earn from £5 a week to £5,000 a week. If they do make £5,000 a week, I'd like to apply for a job for them. They, on top of that, they will get the new Enterprise Allowance, which is £65 a week, which will be paid every week for 13 weeks, and then reduces down to £33 a week for the next 13 weeks. So it's like just a buffer to ensure that once they are started, not only do they have the support of the team that we've got together, the NEA, they also got the financial kind of buffer, if you like, just to make sure that they can, keep themselves their head above water. Because as we know, starting a new business is very daunting experience for most people, and to have somebody at the NEA with my dedicated team of startup brokers and sustainment brokers, they get that support there with them.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. And now over to Roie. Would you like to introduce yourself to the audience and tell us about Connected?
Amazing. Thanks so much, Sabrina. And thank you for having me here. And also a big thanks to Pam, Carly, and the rest of the team for putting this all together. So yeah, my name is Roie Samuel. I'm the founder and CEO of Connected, which is a digital platform that brings together early stage entrepreneurs, investors, and advisors. We built the platform with the understanding that, as I'm sure we all know today, fundraising, connecting with other people really can be a full-time job in and of itself, above and beyond everything else that you're trying to do whilst build a business. But what a lot of people don't necessarily appreciate is how investors, advisors, mentors, people on the other side of the table, they're also working a full-time job above and beyond everything else too. So we wanted to bring in a system which could help everyone save as much time as possible and connect with counterparts as strategically as and efficiently as they can in order to make the best connections and help everyone grow together in terms of business and personal development as well.
Fantastic. That sounds brilliant. In fact, we've got here Leanne, who says she's also on the NEA program, and it's amazing and it's helped me out so much. So, that's fantastic to hear. So definitely great work on there, Geoff. So what I'm going to do is ask that question, which is what we all want to know. What support is available for startups? So I will get you to lead on that, Geoff. Geoff, please.
No worries at all. So again, the support is, number one, it has to be through, from my side of things, to be on the NEA program, you need to go through your job centre and have, obviously, the conversation with your work coach and establish that whether you have got a business idea that you can bring to fruition. So once the work coach has decided that, yes, they will refer you, but we will put you through an initial assessment, so to speak, or an information day where we let you know what we do on the NEA and how we can support you. And the support is basically we will hand you a business plan template, and then we'll book you in several meetings to make sure you get the understanding of the business plan. Alongside that, we have the financial forecasting in terms of the cash flow forecast and the survival budget, because again, that can be the daunting part, and trying to understand how much money do you need to put into your business, if any money at all. Because sometimes, if you're good with, manual work and stuff, you can start generating money pretty much straight away with certain bits and pieces. We've got people from gardeners all the way up to someone like Pamela doing these event sessions. So you can understand the range of businesses that come on board, hence why we have these initial assessments where we can identify whether the business is viable to be on this program, because again, it is a 6 months program. So we really want customers to come on who have kind of sat down and thought, I can do this, but I just need that extra support. That's somebody to speak to look at the business plan, make sure I've crossed all the T's, dotted the I's, and, maybe kind of make me think outside the box a little bit to try and make this business a proper viable business that they can survive on, So again, it's down to the dedicated work of the startup brokers that I have in my team, as well as once they've completed, they will then have the support of a sustainment broker for an extra 52 weeks that they can call at, well, I say anytime, but during working hours, obviously, to get that support they need. So anything that is deemed necessary for the business and we can support you with that, we will always push that forward. What we won't do, we won't sit there and off the shelf get a business and give it to you. You come with the idea, we will help develop it. We will make sure that if you've got that that ambition, that drive to push your business, we will help you get there.
Fantastic. That sounds amazing. And it does have, a big mentoring kind of back to it as well, right? That someone is there with you, every step of the way. And it's always amazing to have that accountability and that shared accountability, especially in a journey like this. So that's super. Thank you for telling us more about that, Geoff. And now, Roie. Please, give us your experience and expertise on, what support is available for startups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. And Geoff, I just want to say, I think working with the NEA and the Shore Trust is fantastic. And it's so amazing to understand and learn about the resources available to people. Personally, I wasn't aware of these sorts of schemes that are in place, but I can imagine how many people's lives that impacts in such a positive way. So that's really, really great to hear. And it's great. And in terms of some of the experiences that I had when I initially founded my first startup in 2014, is you really can see very, very quickly that there's a big, big gap between people who are, in a fortunate position to have a really strong network, and some people who, for whatever reason, don't have that network. And more often than not, it's an unfair reason that people don't have that network, and it's all down to different circumstance and different experiences and exposure. And when we launched Real Sport initially, the first year of trying to make ends meet and get something off the ground, and probably not having such a good understanding of the different opportunities out there. And then as soon as you can connect with the right people, as soon as you manage to find that network, it really does change things in such an amazing way. And it's not just in terms of network and industry-specific knowledge and contacts. It's as much about the mentorship as anything else, as Geoff said there as well, and Sabrina said there as well. So I think for me, one of the biggest supports out there, one of the biggest systems that people can really rely on to help them along their journey is connecting with the right people. And one of the most difficult things about that is understanding who the right people are, because we're not talking about institutions necessarily. We're not talking about being able to go to an individual's website and learn, what they're interested in. Most of these people are private people. So what we've tried to do at Connected is help people understand who the right person is, directly contact with them, make sure that you're saving your time and energy rather than just trying to speak to anyone who might help. Try and speak to the right people. And there's never been a better time, right? Because everyone's just saved up a few hours of commuting. Everything's so efficient right now. And it's one of the positives of of what's happened over the last year. And I want to make this point really, really clearly. Things aren't going back to the old way, because business loves efficiency. And what we've learned is that if we can do these connections online, if we can make things happen quicker online, we're not going back to the old way. So rather than thinking about, once we go back to this, X, Y, Z will get easier, park that and think about, how do I use these amazing digital tools out there to make things happen even quicker? So if anyone wants to have a conversation around that, please feel free to reach out. But I really think it's harnessing the power of people is the best support you'll get.
I love that. That's fantastic. And that really struck a chord with me, actually, when you said, we get told on, a weekly, daily basis about, you need to be connected with the right people. But who are the right people? I think that is so important, because that's a step that a lot of people miss, and they might not be able to identify that themselves at that stage. And so that extra support really does help. So I love that. Thank you so much for that, Roie. So we have a great question now from the audience, and it's coming from Shazia. She said, this is a perfect structure. A question for Geoff or Roie. Is there an online startup hub that I can plug into on a daily basis to experience being part of a daily network and to ask questions?
Okay, from my side of things, we don't have a hub specifically, but again, once you on the NEA program, your connection is the startup broker. So you will have a dedicated broker who will be in contact with you, arrange your meetings, send you to various different networking events. So, for example, we've got the link for this, so there should be a few people who are on the NEA in this forum now. We also have an event called Edge of the Box, which is a link that we have with Chelsea Foundation, and every month they have what you call it, like event as well, where before COVID, actually, they had an event where people could go and showcase their potential startup ideas and network and have those kind of interactions there as well. But now, obviously, post-COVID, we've moved online. So they do have that online availability, those online events, which is monthly. But in terms of a daily one, through the NEA, it would be through your startup broker, who will just be giving you that kind of signposting or dealing with you that support directly. Fantastic.
And Shazia saying, thanks, Geoff. I'm aware of the Edge of the Box, and I think they will have an event soon. So that's brilliant. So it's good for a lot of the others who might not know about it to find out about it. And what about you, Roie? Any advice on that?
Yeah, definitely. So I think there are some amazing free tools out there. So if you guys use Slack, there are some amazing Slack channels which you can enter into, which are community-based. You can go quite generalistic and just enter a Slack channel with other founders, or you can find, a fintech-specific channel, or a medtech, whatever it might be. You can also find the same on platforms like Discord, or even Facebook and LinkedIn groups. There's loads of those out there, which are a great free resource for connecting with like-minded individuals.
Absolutely agree with that, Roie. And I'd like to add to that list, actually. Clubhouse is a fantastic resource. So those of you who are set up on an iOS system, like an iPhone, unfortunately, it's only for iOS users at the moment and not for Android. Sorry, not me. Don't shoot the messenger. But it is a fabulous way to connect in with a community of people that are doing what you're doing. So you can really niche down and join different communities and join rooms where people are talking to each other and getting to each other. And it's an audio-based platform. So definitely look into that. And also, I guess this is a great way to plug what we're doing as the Startup Breakdown, is we have set up a LinkedIn group ourselves. And what we're going to be doing is all the speakers that you see and all the attendees, you're more than welcome to hit that link and become a member and join that group. And the whole idea is that we want to create that community, and we don't want this relationship and this community to end. We think that it's a start of a great relationship. We want to be able to nurture it, and we think there's a real space and opportunity for it, and for all of us to stay connected, because just because you don't need someone's support now, it could be a couple of months down the road, you decide, wait, there's someone I really wanted to connect with, and I remember meeting that person or hearing that person speak at the Startup Breakdown event, let me go into the LinkedIn group and see if I can put a question in there and get connected back with that person. So, I think it's super important to be able to hold on to those. So we've got some fantastic questions. Let's see, let me bring them up. If I can get into it. There we go. Right. I am on Universal Credit. This is a question from Shravan Kumar. I'm on Universal Credit. Can I apply for NEA? That would be for Geoff.
No problem at all. Firstly, the answer to that question is yes, 100%. If you are Universal Credit, any type of benefit, we do take, but it's for you to speak to your work coach to make sure that you're not on any other provisions, to make sure that you meet the eligibility criteria, which your work coach will go through with you. Take this opportunity actually to just mention, I'm the contract manager for just North London and West London, but the NEA covers South London, East London, and as well as Luton, Herts, Beds, and Essex. So no matter where you're from within London and South East, England, we cover the NEA on there. So my advice would be, if you are on Universal Credit, if you have got the portal, the way to connect to your job centre, let them know about the new NEA, the new Enterprise Allowance scheme, and then put you forward, and they will make the referral, which you will then meet one of my startup brokers who will do the initial assessment.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Geoff. I have a question from Gila who says, do you not have to be invited to Clubhouse based on business credentials? You have to be invited, yes, that is the answer, but it's not based on business credentials. You basically have to know someone that will be able to give you an invite, and then that's it. You go in. So what you could do, Gila, is if you could join the LinkedIn group and ask the question on there, if there's any members or speakers or hosts that are able to give you a invite, then you can just straight away get into Clubhouse and get on networking. So I hope that helps. Next question. This is Roie. Is connected we can reach for fundraising assistance for startups? So can we reach out for fundraising assistance for startups on Connected, I think is the question from Kumar.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's really the whole concept behind Connected, is trying to bring that network into everyone's hands, because we know that it can be difficult. So in terms of the journey with Connected, you can join as a member and you can connect with advisors, with mentors or investors. So we find that some people want to go through that journey. Not everyone is necessarily investor ready yet. In the same way that Geoff said, they provide business plan templates. Our mentors, our advisors, even members of the customer team at Connected can provide all that sort of good stuff. But people might want to connect with mentors first, and then as they grow, then connect with investors. So absolutely. And this again goes back to the whole point of using the power of people. What we find is that if you're connecting with people strategically, where it's along the lines of something that they might be passionate about, that you're passionate about, or they've been working in the industry that you're looking to get into for the last 20 years, they want to help. People want to help, people to assist you on the journey. So yeah, very much so.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Roie. I have a question for Geoff. Is the grant or / allowance for sole traders or any new business?
So once you're on the new Enterprise Allowance, it is for anybody basically once you complete your journey. So whether you're a sole trader, limited company, partnership, depending on how you want to set yourself up as, you will be entitled to the NEA grants. Just wanted to add in there, actually, one of the other things that we do is if your business does require a loan, we work with the startup loans company where we will make the referral, but they will only do your loans, obviously credit checks and stuff like that, between 500 to, I think it's around about 2,500 is the maximum that we kind of roughly work with. But again, it's just to understand when going for a loan, is to look at it more as a tool as opposed to money, because we don't want to obviously work with people that are unemployed. We don't want to get them into the debt straight month one. We want to obviously try and ensure that they start making a profit or at least breaking even and stuff. So again, starting a business is not always about profit. It's about doing something that you love and obviously getting some sort of enjoyment out of it and stuff. So yes, just to answer the question again, 100%, if depending on the way how you're setting up as a business, you are entitled to that grant. You just need to be able to complete the program within the required time period.
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Geoff. So I've got a few more questions. One for Geoff. Again, I started trading. This is from Shazia. I started trading on the 22nd of March. As yet, I've not received the NEA payment. I've spoken to my coaches and they say Universal Credit /staff or UC are directing me to the coaches. Can you please advise who I can contact on that matter?
Okay, so just to clarify again, the way it's all kind of set up, again, we work with customers from the job center. So obviously, if you're on benefits, your benefits are obviously paid out through the job center. We don't obviously pay that for you. Once you're on the program, we verify that they have completed their business and their thing, and they're good to go. They're ready to start trade. Once we send that information back to your job center should be able to make the transition to allow you to have access to the NEA grants. Yeah. There is any issues, please, if anybody wants to have my details, just send me an email and I'll be in touch with the job centers for you on your behalf, or the sustainment brokers. Shazia should be, if she's trading, she should be with a sustainment broker now. If that's the case, speak to your broker. Again, it's not for us to say, you meant to pay them. We just need to inform the job centre that Shazia has not received the payment just yet. Could they look into it? And then they'll obviously do it that way around. And everybody's different. So depending on what circumstances work coach had that customer on, there might be some issues, but I'm sure it's just a minor. And if everything is fine, whatever weeks that you've missed out on, they will pay it for you. So you're entitled to that money. That's yours.
Fantastic. Thank you, Geoff. She said, awesome, Geoff. Thank you. So just putting that out there. So I'm going to end with one question. And this is a question for the both of you, really. And Roie, if you want to give your answer first, is what is the number one question that you get asked the most with Connected?
So the number one question I get asked with Connected is, when am I ready to take on investment? And it's the same question as, how long's a piece of string, right? But I think what I've learned over the last few years, the real answer is, and the real tip here is, making sure that you're educating the people who you want to invest in your business, because no investors invest in a snapshot, because anyone can make a snapshot look great. Investors want to invest in a trajectory. So it's never too early to start speaking to investors. Let them know what you're doing. Get them excited. Even if you're just an idea on a piece of paper, they can get excited by how you take that idea and just bring something into reality. Or even if you've just brought on one customer, although that might not be, the end goal, get them excited about how you've taken it from 1 to 10. So I think it's just being really, really cognizant of the fact that you've got to keep them in the loop. Don't expect it to happen overnight. So make sure that you're giving yourself enough time and make sure that you're speaking to as many people, of the right people, as you can, to let them know about that journey as it goes on. And that way it should happen, rather than thinking we'll have a night.
Fantastic. Thank you, Roie. And Geoff?
Okay. What question do I get asked most? I mean, obviously I don't have a caseload as such, so I don't really get asked the questions as much, but the feedback that we get from the customers is mainly around how soon can I start? I mean, it's one of the funny things is being on this program is you'll be amazed of how many people actually got some brilliant ideas and just want to get the ball rolling and get out into the field and really try and make a go at being self-employed themselves. So I think, maybe the number one question is, how soon can I start? Sometimes we have to let people down because they may not have reached their eligibility. But again, there's ways and means around it. Going to we'll approach you to different opportunities. The other thing that we've got going on at the moment, there are a couple of customers who may be already self-employed and want to get on the program, but not actually making enough money in their business. So one of the opportunities we've got is an existing self-employed opportunity. Again, you have to be through your job centre, and then you'll be referred to one of our specialists. who will try and look at help growing your business. So that's another angle for people to look at.
Fantastic advice. Thank you so much, Geoff. Thank you so much, Roie. This was a brilliant panel, and I'm so sure the viewers got so much value out of it. I know I learned a whole bunch of new things, so this is fantastic. So thank you to the both of you, and thank you everyone for tuning into this session. Now the session is going to end, and you can actually join Roie and Geoff in the lounge. Take a seat, ask them what you want to ask them, have a cup of virtual tea, as I like to call it, and take that. So I'm going to end the session now, and I look forward to seeing everyone at the next session where we meet the Academy in Tax, the Accounting and Tax Academy. So take care, everyone.
And cheers, Sabrina.
Take care.